thinking MySpace is such a great space because I get to connect with my fans. That was my main point. And gone were the days when you had to actually organize a meet and greet session and all that with fans. Here you are able, or here I am able to connect with my fans in a quicker and a more intimate, personal way. And I thought, hey, if I could connect, I mean, I'm no Johnny Depp, but if I could connect with Johnny Depp that way, that would just make my day. So I thought, hey, why not make some people happy that way? And then, of course, Facebook came about. And I would say I was one of those first few people, and I think you know this of me, Aisha, because we're very close. I would always jump on the first social media platform when Facebook came, and then fan page, and then Twitter, and then Instagram, now Pinterest and Google+. So for me, being able to connect with my fans is very important. And of course, it is also branding, and it's also promotion for me. And I've managed to, because I've managed to stay connected with the people who like me for some reason, I've managed to create that relationship with them, and no matter what I say or what work I have done, they have been supporting me 100%, and I've been very blessed.
Thanks, Saz. Now, Dato' Fazli, there you go. Now, you are, you have, like I said earlier, a man who wears many hats. Now, what do you use your social media for? And because you have a lot of things that you are doing, how do you divide the time amongst all the things that you're doing? Or do you use your social media as just you connecting or communicating with your fans?
Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to everybody. Let me just start by saying that I started social media less than a year. I became very active ever since I joined the MasterChef Celebrity in Malaysia. And what happened, what triggered my interest was the night of the finals, where my Facebook went crazy, my Twitter went crazy, and the outreach of on my fan page, we got to 860,000, and organic was at 750,000. So I was amazed by the numbers. I said, this is what social media is all about. So I started on my Instagram and my Twitter hashtags, and very recently what I've come across, I've got different followers. Those who want to get some motivational hashtags from me. So I'll be tweeting in the morning saying, you should be happy today, there's no such thing as Monday blues, and so on. And in the afternoon, I've got followers who want some recipes. So I'll be uploading recipes that I cooked in cordon bleu, for instance. And what happened the past few months, I've gathered quotes from my motivational hashtags and quotes from my love hashtag, and also coming up with another hashtag which is about recipes. And I came up with a book which was published last month, and it was launched last 2 weeks, solely on hashtags that I've created on motivational quotes. And this has helped many followers of mine who wants to relate back to what I've quoted in my Twitter account for the past few months. I think what is quite unique on my social media is I've got new fans and old fans. New fans meaning those who did not realize that I was a singer 10 years back. My song, the Malaysians might know, which was called Asmara Ini, was first at 11 years ago. So if you still like the song, you're 11 years older. Okay? That's how old it was. Yeah, I've been a singer for 12 years. I've been a motivational speaker. This is my 14th year. And after MasterChef Celebrity win, I've got a new fan, where those who watched me on MasterChef Celebrity do not realize that I was a singer or I acted before. So these are the new fans that wanting new recipes from me. So you asked the question actually, which I think that's the thing that I'm trying to compartmentalize. Fans who want recipes, fans who want to know about my latest single, my song, or fans who want motivational quotes from me. So I think within the span of 6 months, I'm quite happy that I'm following 120,000 people on my Twitter. So you can imagine if on my laptop it goes crazy, like that. So I pick and choose who I want to read. And I actually use the search and hashtags quite often. Thank you.
Thank you, Fazli. Now, Fazli, Sazi, Nick all have one thing in common. Apart from being celebrities, they're also business owners. I think a lot of Malaysian celebrities do that and choose to go down that path, where they use they cross-promote, use social media as a way to get their products out there. Now, but how is it though? How is it in Bollywood, maybe? And what kind of feedback or comments could you give about that, Miss Malini? Do you see a lot? Do you see the trend maybe with Bollywood stars either starting their own business or promoting other brands that they're endorsing?
So there's a huge idol worship in Bollywood for celebrities. So literally, if a big Bollywood star, if Shah Rukh Khan says, I use like this deodorant, everyone will use that deodorant. So they do that a lot. And in fact, there's been a lot of conversation now about, because in India, we've been seeing a lot of promotion of fairness and whitening creams, which a lot of people are not happy to see. And there are some celebrities who do promote that. And luckily for us, social media has actually been a check on them and said that, hey, why do you promote fairness creams to some celebrities who've actually, and Ranbir Kapoor is one who said, no matter how much money they pay me, I won't do it. So they're being a little more responsible because of social media, but they're heavily branded and doing promotional events. And there's something called sponsored tweets where they'll be paid to send a tweet out or use a hashtag, and they will do it.
What do you think? Of course, maybe in Bollywood, because of the idolization, idolizing all the celebrities, so it's acceptable. But I mean, what's your opinion as a Malaysian celebrity on that, Nick? At the same time, you understand a lot of businesses out there do want to use or maybe find trouble infiltrating the social media network. But so they piggyback on celebrities. Now, is that something that you would see yourself doing, or what's your opinion on this? Is it okay to sell on Twitter?
Like for me, like I said, my key to social media is to keep it authentic. So no matter what brand comes up to me, I make sure first and foremost that I believe in the product. And then only I'll tweet whatever I want. Instead of, you know how they email you and have all these impersonal posts and whatnot? Yeah, and you get boring, you know. I mean, this goes out to brands out there as well. Do not keep it formal, you know. It's always fun if you get a celebrity to endorse you because they like you, and then let them tweet it on their own. So it's beautiful product placement for you as well. And it keeps things more social media friendly. People would appreciate it more. That's how I go about it.
And Sazi, what's your opinion on this? Other than your own personal brand, your fans will also notice a lot of supporting of other brands on your site. Where do you draw the line that, maybe enough is enough? Or how do you maintain your personal tweets and at the same time the ones supporting other brands?
Well, I completely agree with Nick. You gotta keep it authentic. I do I call it the Kim Kardashian, get paid for certain tweets and all that. Of course, I don't get paid as much as she does. But I eat really healthy food. One of the examples is I had certain fast food chains trying to get me to engage, to tweet about their product. And I don't really eat meat. I'm most of the time vegetarian, and I try to be vegan as much. So I was telling my agency that handles my social media stuff, they're my agents, and I said, it's kind of tough for me because a lot of my fans out there know that I try to stay away from meat, and here you want me to tweet about eating a burger or chicken and all that. So it's pretty tough. So I want to keep it as authentic as possible. But at the same time, I'm also taking advantage of this world where it's passive income for me as well. And I've created this following on social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram and all that. And why not? And of course, I'm doing this for my family. It's good income, but at the same time, I want to keep it authentic.
Thanks. And Fazli, how about you? Now, see, our format's slightly different from all the other panels maybe you've been sitting at. We're going to go straight into the Q&A. Hence, I'd once again like to invite all the members of the floor, even those who are, keeping updated via
Ask away.
hashtag, to ask your questions at hashtag MSMW2013. Now, so Dr. Fazli, how do you draw that line between business and personal when it comes to Instagram, Twitter, and all other social media networks that you're on?
Okay, I'm a little technical there. I will tweet at a certain time to a certain person, to a certain group of followers, depending on what I want them to see or to read. I know in the morning where people actually go to work, I will usually tweet things that I want to market, my book or my recipes or my activities, wherever I'll be. But somewhere in the evening, just before the rush hours, I'll be tweeting stuff about motivational quotes or things that I want to share. And sometimes I ask questions to the fans. and I get artists just by asking questions, and I will see some kind of interactivity where then later I will come back to the certain tweet and will talk to a certain person because I realize that the certain person have a certain number of followers. And when I mention the word technical, I'm on Twitter for two reasons. One, to get in touch with my fans, and secondly, to get new followers at the same time. And what I've realized over the past couple of months, I've got followers coming all the way from Russia, from UK, and from USA. And I thought they are Malaysians, but apparently they're not. Because of the hashtags I've created on my Instagrams, the word food porn. Someone asked me, "What is there porn and food?" Well, it's just a hashtag created by somebody else. But that has brought my pictures all over the world. So I think how I've managed my Twitter account, like I said, it's a little technical. I go back to the statistics. I know I will pick and choose at what time I want to post what, and at what time I want to engage who. And when it comes to technicality, I've got a group of staff actually who work with me who will then tell me, firstly, it's good to tweet today about this particular thing because people are talking about food, people are talking about motivational quotes, people are talking about new songs and new video clips and things like that. And what I've gathered in the past 2 weeks alone, we created a hashtag for my new video clip. It's called Maaf Ku Mencintaimu, my new single. It's out, by the way. Thank you. I saw a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Within 24 hours, my song became it was on the popular page in YouTube. So I think it was quite a success for us because it's not launched officially yet. It will be launched in 2 weeks' time. But we tried that on social media. So hashtags play an important role for us. I mean, for me. Thank you.
Now, you have chosen to hire a team of experts. Now, a lot of celebrities in the West, in Hollywood, maybe in Bollywood too, yeah? They have a team of professionals who actually help them, tell them when to tweet, what to tweet. Nick and Sazi, do you guys manage your own social media platforms? And, you know, why? Saz?
To a certain extent, my personal stuff, meaning the things that I tweet about my children and just the stuff that I wear, because I own an online fashion shop. So those are the stuff that I tweet at, but at the same time, I've got a person that does Instagramming and tweeting and handling my social media. She's right here, Rini. So she's handling promotional stuff on my social media platform. At the same time, when it comes to branding, what we're talking about just now, advertising, tweeting for brands and all that, I have Chup Chup or Nafnang handling that for me. It's taken over my life, social media, so at the same time, I still want to have time to breathe and eat, so it's good that I have all this support from them. But my personal stuff, it's still a lot of me, because I still want to keep it authentic. I still want the fans to know it's still me behind the social media platform.
And Nick, for you?
As for me, I do it all on my own, especially for Instagram and Twitter. I don't do a lot of posts all the time. I rather keep it, scarce and let them wait for more, you know what I mean? Have a demand there. But for my Facebook, it was left to die quite a while ago. And, because Facebook is slower, it's not as instant as Twitter and Instagram. So it's more for a formality, like people want to say, I like this product, I like that person, so I keep it there for permanent updates, and only up till recently, I've got a manager to run it for me, but she only puts up stuff that she thinks is relevant to the fans, like, the crazy side of me in the kitchen, or after I've had 22 shots of espresso in a single day, that sort of thing that she... 22, yeah. I was fixing up the coffee in the restaurant.
Can you send us that link?
Well, it's on the Facebook page. It's recent, but yeah, she only does all these little things that she thinks that fans wants to see. She does run it by me first, so I have the final say on everything. But everything else is basically all me. I keep it authentic. It's my own grammar, my own typos. It's authentic. That's my key.
Okay, so yours is Elias Nick.
NIK9 underscore.
Nick
yeah.
9 underscore. So
underscore
if you want to get
is
to know
after the
Nick,
9, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you will be tweeting him from now onwards. Now, Malini, how does a team of experts, or when it comes to the entertainment industry, what do they need to do, or how do they actually find out what people are interested in? Like for celebrities, it's a lot to do with trial and error. You know, you tweet about something, you see you get a lot more responses or replies. How would one actually go about doing this? So I think this is relevant information that people who are thinking of starting off brands, you know, whether or not celebrity or so on and so forth, how they can go about doing it.
So one of the things I always tell brands that are looking to be relevant is that try to join the conversation. You can't get people to come to your website all the time, but if you join the conversation, you can become relevant. A big example is, so in India, just like here, I think you can't advertise alcohol or cigarettes on television. So there are big brands like Blender's Pride or Shivas, and so they do a fashion tour, and they create a real-life fashion show, but they take that online by doing little videos and tweets about it and pictures and how to get the celebrity look. And so suddenly, even though they're an alcohol brand, they're relevant in a fashion conversation where people who are their target audience are having a conversation, whether it's about men's fashion. So I tell brands that. So if you're, for instance, if you're a shoe brand, why not talk about what color suit should go with brown shoes? Or, is it still true that your belt should match your shoes? Talk about things that people have questions about. And if you go on Twitter or Facebook and if you just look up those topics, you'll see exactly what people want to know the answer to. And you as a brand can give them that answer, and suddenly they'll be like, hey, this brand knows what I want. And you become relevant.
I see. Now, Dr. Fazli, you mentioned that you have actually a team of people doing it, sometimes helping you out with your media and your posts. Now, we have a question from Twitter and asking that if you have or hire a team or an agency, people to watch your Twitter accounts or Facebook, would that sometimes be disappointing fans? Because one reason why they follow you is to bridge that gap to actually get to know you and get closer.
A little correction there. I do not have a team that I pay to manage my Twitter account and so on. But it's just a group of staff that would actually indicate that I should tweet at a certain time. But the Twitter account is still only for me. Only I have access to it. Only I have my passwords. So what happens, I do believe that if you have a group of team, a team that actually manage your Twitter account, fans will feel a little distant from you. Hence why I actually told myself that I would not want anybody to have any of my passwords with them. Although some of my staff said, boss, I think we should have your password so we can tweet for you. I said, nah, I'll hold on to my phone. And what I believe in is to be close with the fans. And why I wanted to be on Twitter initially was to get to know the fans better. And these days, what I've come to realize that my fans are no longer on Facebook. I think many of the celebrities do agree. And the amount of like that you have more likes on Instagram more than Facebook by 3-folds or 4-folds. And what's I think worrying for me is the fans who are not in the KL area, who are maybe in Sabah and Sarawak, they realize that artists these days, they are more on Twitter and they are more on Instagram as opposed to Facebook. And when I was in Sabah last week, let me just share with you. I was actually in Tawau, and the new fans or the older generations are saying, "How do we get in touch with you? We can't even watch you on TV because we don't have time." And my kids are saying there's this thing called Twitter, and the younger generations are creating Twitter accounts for their parents, for not just Facebooks anymore. And just yesterday, I got a DM, a direct message on my Twitter saying, "Hi. I'm actually 64 years old, and this Twitter account was created by my son because I wanted to get in touch with you. I wanted to know how to make the best tempoyak." I said, "Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome." So I made that a case study because I'm actually lecturing in University Utara Malaysia. I'm teaching integrated marketing communications. So I made sure all my students have a Twitter account. And I told them, to get points from me, you must have your Twitter account, one. And secondly, I will give your assignments through your Twitter account.
That's why it's definitely changing the way. Earlier, one of the speakers said that it's through Twitter and Facebook that messages are sent to the students. Now we actually have 10 minutes more, so I'd like to open it up to the floor. If you have actually any more questions, you can come up to the mic and ask anyone from our panel. Now, looking from the comments and also the questions from the hashtag, I've got to ask one. And one overwhelming question was, how do you handle Twitter backlash? Now, you've got Twitter hacking, you've got like a few examples Ms. Malini gave of your tweets or pictures or Instagram being misread or misconstrued. So, first question would be, how do you guys respond to hateful or judgmental comments made at blogs, chat forums? Now, who'd like to take that? Saz, I see you've grabbed the mic, so you want to say something.
How do I handle it? Most of the time, just ignore it. One of the things I would like to share was I Instagram a photo of me holding my kid using the kid leash. And it's really for safety, and everybody's got their own opinions and thoughts of it. And it went crazy. People were saying, how could I treat my children that way? How dare she treats a children or child like a dog and all that. But at the same time, I had a lot of fans backing me up saying, hey, rather than the child getting kidnapped, this is nothing. Or people were saying things like, how could you be pulling your child around the mall like that? And then someone responded, no, it's more like her child pulling her around the mall like that. So most of the time, I trust that I have fans who would back me up or have enough common sense to know. I realize that reacting sometimes is the last thing I should do, or reacting in a more without emotions is the best way. I do see a lot of my celebrity friends reacting emotionally, and part of me feel like calling them up going, do not handle it that way. But at the same time, I had handled situations emotionally, and I realized this is bad. So I take social media as another thing as well. It's to also educate people on social media behavior. So I have to behave well on social media. So I try to handle it the best way that I can, and as positively as I can.
Because it will happen, like they always say, haters will hate. Anyway, Nick, I want to ask you something. In Malaysia, you do also have a few blunders, maybe done by young celebrities out there. And of course, being a young 20-something-year-old, you have fun, you go out, you party. Sometimes the difference is this certain person is a public figure, and you being a young Malaysian celebrity, what's your comment on that? I mean, where do you draw the line? Should you self-censor when you're online, when you're on Twitter or Facebook?
Well, definitely you have to have some sort of control over what you do post. You never want to reveal too much, especially if it's something personal. But in the sense of doing sins and having it all plastered out there, I think I'm still too new to have anything out there yet. The only backlash I've received is some people commenting on